Hello, hello, wellness warriors. I am Amy Blackburn, Whole Health Coaching, and I'm going to speak today on something that I hold truly dear to my heart, the Gut Thrive in 5 program. I went through this program as well as I went through the health practitioner training program through the whole journey. It had changed my own health and well-being, and I have also witnessed it changing a few of my own clients. I started on this journey myself back in January of 2021, and I became officially certified. August, I just went through the panel in this past August, and I now am so excited to finally bring it to you all. This program it's cutting edge. It is unlike other programs that I had personally done prior. And so I want to share with you, I'm going to take you through a presentation and it's going to explain exactly what is the Gut Thrive in 5 protocol, how can it benefit you, and ultimately why I think you really are going to be interested in taking on it, the challenge, so to speak, yourself. It is absolutely needed, I feel, when I keep witnessing, we're just aware there's a health crisis in our country. And for so long, we've been focusing more on sick care. And I think now we need to start focusing more on preventative care. And the first truly most beneficial step that you can take is focusing on your gut health. And as this presentation will kind of tell you, it's not a matter of whether you have leaky gut, it's a matter of how bad it is. So I encourage you to sit back, take it all in. It's going to be about 45 minutes to an hour. So if you don't have that time allotted right this minute, that's okay. I've made a recording so that you can go back and watch it, even if it's in chunks of time. And especially if you are somebody who is dealing with not just digestive distress, but if you have eczema, psoriasis, anxiety, depression, chronic fatigue, numerous autoimmune issues that we're seeing, type 2 diabetes. The list goes on and on, to be quite honest. And healing your gut, and leaky gut in particular, is truly the first step to resolving so many of the root causes of many of your illnesses, your diseases, and just your discomfort in life. So sit back, like I said, take some time, listen, and I will be here for you when the webinar is over to answer any of your questions, because I want you to start regaining your health and ultimately getting your life back. So sit back. All right, so I'm going to present the presentation. So hold on, I gotta screen share here. All right, so you'll see here, we have 5 steps to gut health. Let me see if I can get the whole screen. Oh, well, we'll just watch it from here. So 5 steps to gut and immune healing. And again, it's presented by me, Amy Blackburn, Whole Health Coaching. All right, so let's get on with it. Okay, so who is Amy Blackburn, right? This is probably like, okay, yes, who are you? I'm a whole health, I CEO of Whole Health Coaching. I'm a certified health and hormonal health specialist, and more recently, Gut Thrive practitioner. I am a graduate of the Institute of Integrative Nutrition with a specialization in gut, adrenal, and thyroid health. I enrolled in IIN after experiencing my own health issues due to nutrient deficiencies and adrenal dysfunction. I was feeling extremely frustrated when I was going to a doctor with numerous symptoms of anxiety. And I was just kind of led, after he met with me for about 15 minutes tops, I think he summed me up without really hearing my life story and what my everyday life, what were my everyday habits, what was the root cause. And instead of like really listening to me, he wanted to place me on an anxiety medication because I was experiencing hair thinning. I was experiencing sudden panic attacks, heart palpitations, extreme fatigue, sleeping for 10 hours, but feeling exhausted. And I think all he did in that amount of time summed me up as OCD type A, and gave me Celexa, which is an anti-anxiety medication. And he sent me on my way. Well, I did my own research and realized that one, I did not want to be on anxiety meds because there were too many negative side effects than there were positive benefits to it, but I still intuitively knew something was beyond. It wasn't just anxiety. So again, through my own research, I came to the conclusion I had iron deficiency anemia. I was running 6 days a week, about 6 miles a day. I was working on my feet 7 to 8 hours a day. And I was just pretty much on the go. And I was eating a highly refined processed diet, tons of Splenda and artificial sweeteners. And I was pretty much eating to stay skinny rather than eating to be healthy. So needless to say, all these years later, I know a lot more. And I became my own health advocate, and the Institute of Integrative Nutrition was where I gravitated toward. And I became a health coach. And then beyond that, I became a hormonal health specialist by going into a more specialized program through the Institute of Integrative Nutrition as well. And then again, through the Gut Thrive and 5 Wellness Practitioner Program. So I am one of only 100 certified Gut Thrive and 5 practitioners in the world, certified to work one-on-one with you to help others reprogram their microbiome's genetic code and retrain your immune system to help eliminate symptoms that may have plagued you for years. And so that's so exciting to me, is that I'm one of a few that went through this actual program, and I am going to help you turn over your genetic microbiome. And that is something that's just so unheard of. And what makes this program so unique is that so many other programs, they might take you through about 70% of recovery, right? And then you end and you go on about your life, but you didn't fully go through the process well enough to totally eliminate the pathogen, the virus, the bacteria, or even H. pylori, for example. You didn't fully eliminate it. So then what's going to happen is you're going to have a reinfection, because what's still lingering there is going to then proliferate again. And you have a whole host of all those negative symptoms again. But this program is uniquely designed to take you through a step-by-step process that is going to take care of the work fully if followed. And I would be there to guide you, because this program will be different for each and every one of you. You have a unique body. For that reason, we would have to customize the program for your unique body. And that's why you would want to do it one-on-one with me, so that we can kind of customize it for you. So that's what this program is going to be all about. This was tested and proven with over 7,000 people from around the world, and more than that, since this webinar was created, because I alone had 3 more clients, and that was just me. So more than 7,000 people now. 95% reported digestive improvement. 95%. 94% would recommend this work to others. Over 75% reported significant improvements in skin conditions such as acne, eczema, and psoriasis. Lowered thyroid antibody levels, and many reversed. And I just know in my own experience, there are so many people walking around with newly diagnosed thyroid issues, whether it's Hashimoto's, whether it's hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. So many more people are dealing with thyroid issues due to toxic overload, stress, and the list goes on. Improved adrenal gland function, improved metabolism, weight loss, and reduced body fat. 3 to 10% lost about 6 to 50 pounds. 6 to 50 pounds. So, and keep in mind, like if you have a thyroid issue, you're going to have a metabolism issue, because your thyroid helps regulate your metabolism. Dramatic improvement with SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, constipation, bloating, and brain fog by addressing the gut-brain-brain-gut connection with customized neuroactivation techniques and supplements. As a Gut Thrive practitioner, I am also an expert nutritionally and clinically supporting the reduction of inflammation, chronic autoimmune or digestive issues, eczema, leaky gut, IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, which, to be honest, they're starting to recognize irritable bowel syndrome and SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, as one of the same, and heavy metal toxicity. Now, when you're dealing with gut issues, you have a major root cause. You have one that's like outweighing all the other, but to be honest, you're dealing with a little bit of all this 9 times out of 10. But that's what we'll be focusing on is reducing the internal inflammation, because if you keep up with the wellness world, internal inflammation is now being seen as the key trigger to many of the chronic lifestyle diseases we're seeing and hearing about more and more. Gut health is foundational to whole body health. All diseases begin in the gut, as Hippocrates, the father of natural medicine, stated many, many years ago. All disease begins in the gut. So what are some examples? Constipation, bloating, gas. So stomach pain, headaches, joint pain, and exhaustion. So if you're experiencing any of those could be stemming from your gut. So again, do you have stomach pain? Do you have headaches? Are you experiencing headaches, migraines, joint pain, exhaustion, brain fog, hair loss, insomnia, anxiety, depression, diarrhea, skin issues, and breakouts? And again, when I look back to that time, that was exactly 10 years ago that I walked into the doctor's office and I was complaining of hair thinning, exhaustion, anxiety. I didn't fully understand at that time in my life what normal bowels were all about. But you guys, I went on for probably 10 to 15 years with loose stools and the inability to digest fats. And I knew over time that I was having trouble digesting fats. About 4 years after that visit at the doctor's office, and trying to clean up my own diet myself on my own, little by little. And I did seek the help of a health coach for about a 6-week program. But I didn't know that loose stools were entirely a super indicative, it was so indicative of leaky gut, that I just thought it was normal. And then it took me time to realize that, I have a gluten sensitivity, but I was still experiencing loose bowels. And so it's I'm here to tell you, don't go through what I went through, and don't take nearly as long as it took me. I want to help prevent you taking so long to figure out truly what was wrong. I wish I had this program 10 years ago, because all those issues were my issues, and included in this is nutrient deficiencies. That's food sensitivities and nutrient deficiencies are other huge indications of leaky gut. And I just wish I had somebody that could have told me these things. And so that's why I'm here, right? To help others. Gut issues have reached unprecedented levels. 65 million Americans are affected by digestive issues. 65 million, like gastroesophageal reflux disease, which is better known as GERD, or irritable bowel syndrome. 22.4 million physician office visits annually have a disease of the digestive system as their primary diagnosis. 8.3 million emergency room visits annually are due to disease of the digestive system. I mean, these numbers are not small, guys, right? They are huge. Irritable bowel syndrome affects 6 to 18% of the population worldwide. IBS, 6 to 18%. And I mean, it seems like it would be even more than that, because it just seems so common nowadays to hear people talking about IBS. 5.9% of adults have been diagnosed with ulcers. 5.9% of adults. So right there, look at the picture. If that's any indication, do you ever feel like that? I know that was me going all the way back to my teens, right? I've been dealing with this stuff. It was a long time before I even truly understood it. Okay, so have you been to several medical doctors who either give you medications or tell you nothing's wrong? Gone through natural doctors too and don't feel better? Spent thousands of dollars on practitioners, recurring supplement fees, and countless lab tests? Become exhausted on the journey and don't know where else to turn? Or maybe it's that you don't feel great and you know you could just be feeling better. Like, and if you're at that point, like you're just tired of feeling sick and tired. And I know that's a very cliche phrase this day and age, but there's truth to that. When you reach that point where you say to yourself, I just want to feel normal. I just want to be able to eat food. And if you say this to yourself, like you feel better when you're not eating food, that's a huge sign that you have leaky gut. If you personally feel better before you've even eaten anything all day, that's often a sign, because if the minute you eat, you feel worse. One, you're eating foods that your body just cannot handle in the moment. Two, you probably have leaky gut going on and it needs to be resolved. And then three, you have to figure out, why do you have leaky gut? So those are huge signs as far as like, if you just feel like food doesn't work with you. You feel worse, you feel tired, you feel exhausted, you feel bloated, and it just makes you feel worse than you did beforehand. Those are all very, very common signs. These symptoms and issues are reversible. You can feel better. I'm telling this to my current client, and she has so many food sensitivities right now. And I keep reminding her, you're going to get through this, and your body knows how to heal, and you will get better. And that's the important thing to know and to remember, is that you can heal. The body is designed to heal itself. When we give the body what it needs, it will always take care of you. The gut thrive process is entirely new and gentle process that rejuvenates the entire digestive system and resets your immune system towards its highest potential. So that's all about optimal well-being. So the Gut Thrive in 5 program is there to rejuvenate the entire digestive system and reset your immune system. It's not about the dis-ease state. Crohn's, colitis, GERD, IBS, ulcerative colitis, Hashimoto's, Graves, lupus. I've seen so many more people having lupus, fibromyalgia, alopecia, eczema, psoriasis, etc. They are a collection of symptoms with a root cause underlying the manifestation of those symptoms. So there's a root cause causing that stuff. One does not have to live with a diagnosis. These conditions are reversible. It's not a life sentence, you guys. It truly is not. It's not even about the bugs. Okay, so here are the quote bugs that are going on. You know, H. pylori, Blastocystis hominis, E. histolytica. I have trouble saying some of these. E. coli. I think you're more familiar with like Candida, which is a fungus. Giardia, which I think that's even common in dogs. Parasites, worms, Epstein-Barr virus, and bacterial overgrowth that makes up SIBO. So those are very common. The microbiome. So we're hearing so much more about the microbiome. And I think a lot of people know it relates to the gut, but what is it, right? What exactly is this thing called microbiome? Well, it's the combined genetic material of the microorganisms in a particular environment. Skin, nose, mouth, esophagus, lungs, intestines, and genitals. So that's a particular environment, the microorganisms that live in those environments. Gut microbiome. The collective set of genes of microbes composed of either bacteria, bacteriophage, fungi, yeast, protozoa, and viruses that live inside your digestive system. So your gut microbiome is pretty much the genes of the microbes that live in your gut, your digestive system. We have about 10 times as many microbial cells as human cells. So that's pretty impressive, right? We have about 10 times as many microbial cells as human cells. This makes up the community of microorganisms that literally share our body space with us. So it's a whole different living entity within us. And that's really interesting. Understanding 3 kinds of bacteria: symbiotic, which is good, pathogenic, bad, and commensal, neutral. So there are 3 kinds of bacteria that live within us. There's symbiotic, which is the good stuff, which is what we want. We have the pathogenic, which is the bad, which we want to get rid of. We want to weed it out. And then we have the commensal, which is neutral, under good conditions. And we'll go into that. No one size fits all solution. So pathogens are any agent causing disease. So remember that, pathogens, any agent causing disease, usually a living microorganism capable of producing infection. Poisons like arsenic would be excluded. So pathogens, any agent causing disease, usually like living microorganism capable of producing infection. So again, when you hear gut infections. Then there are viruses, multi-celled, but only can reproduce inside a plant, animal, or person. So viruses can only reproduce inside of a plant, an animal, or a person. And certain examples of viruses include hepatitis, herpes mono, warts, chickenpox, smallpox, bird flu, norovirus, yellow fever, Ebola, we heard about that a lot, SARS, so the recent SARS COVID, AIDS, HIV, influenza, cold sores, cold germs, measles, tetanus, and typhoid fever. So if you've experienced any of those in your body at one point, your body was being invaded by a virus. And this is really interesting on a side note, and I'm just going to bring this up right now. I had horrible plantar warts. I'm talking for about 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3 years. And I was doing everything holistic, and I even did some over-the-counter stuff, but I was really doing everything. They weren't going away. They were growing, in fact. So obviously I had some form of a virus. I was doing clean eating, and I was doing primarily clean eating, right? I did a liver cleanse protocol, and then I was doing celery juice. I was doing that, but I don't know what was the end all thing. And then I did this program, but I can tell you the warts disappeared. My husband was convinced, oh, you're going to need to go to the doctor. You're just going to need to go to the doctor and get those things burned off. But you guys, I took upon myself some protocols, and they are gone. And he was amazed as well. So again, if you're eating and living a lifestyle that feeds these things, they're not going to go away. You have to do first something that starves them of food. So anyway, I'm going to continue on, but to me, that was a personal story that I was amazed because they were so bad. I was scared to go to yoga. I was scared for anybody to look at my feet. No way. I think I even went to get a massage once. And I was like, I kept my socks on and just told them I don't like my feet touched. But really, it was because of the darn warts. But they're absolutely gone now. So viruses, bacteria, tiny one-celled creatures can live inside and outside of the body. So bacteria can live inside or outside of a body. Examples of bacteria: tuberculosis, anthrax, staph infections, E. coli, typhoid, salmonella, morgellons. There's quite a few. Urinary tract infection, strep throat, peritonitis, strep throat, stomach ulcers, Lyme disease. That's one that I've seen come up in so many more people recently as well. I've known a few people that contracted Lyme disease, and that's a bacteria. So keep in mind, Lyme is a bacteria. Okay, so fungi. Ringworm, you have ADV pneumonia, candida, basically, yeast infection, histoplasmosis, and cryptococcosis. Some of these I have a hard time pronouncing, not gonna lie. So we've talked about viruses, bacteria, fungi. Then you have protozoa, which are one-celled creatures usually spread through water. Malaria, Chagas disease, giardiasis, and again, I have trouble saying this, cryptosporidiasis, whatever. But that's a protozoa. And again, I forgot to mention, fungi are multi-celled, plant-like, similar to tree fungus. Takes nutrition from a plant, tree, or animal. So that's kind of like candida. They take nutrition from a plant, tree, or animal, so they feed off of what you're feeding in your body. Parasites, actual complex living organism, can live in intestinal tract or bloodstream. So parasites can live in your intestinal tract or your bloodstream. Again, roundworm, which is different from ringworm. Tapeworm, those are probably your two most common ones. Trigonosis, and those are forms of parasites. So they can live in the intestinal tract or bloodstream. Protein, okay, so who would have ever thought this? Multi-celled, but can only reproduce inside a plant, animal, or person. And basically this is BSE, mad cow disease, or BCJD diseases. Incomplete list gathered from various medical books, noted. So no one size fits all solution. Each and every one of us, we have a root cause. We fall into we have one of these as our main issues. That's not to say we aren't dealing with, like, so say you have H. pylori. That's not to say you don't have a little candida or a little bit of a bacterial infection as well. It just means that H. pylori is what's the largest thing that you have to conquer first and foremost. Restoring a well-balanced community, that is the goal. Having the right combo of good guys and bad guys positively influence whether the guys will make for a strong community inside your body. If you do it right, it's like having the best civil engineer in the world who can replicate these communities in all of your microbiomes and keep the formula intact. Sinuses, mouth, throat, lungs, skin, and genitals. Teaches your body to live in 100% harmony with itself, animals, and the environment by resetting your genetic code, epigenetics, towards its highest potential, therefore turning off genes for disease. That is the key. So for so long, we were told that it's in your genes. It's just part of your makeup. It's just part of this. But the reality is, yes, we each are dealt a certain set of cards, right? We each have a certain set of genes. But it's up to us with our lifestyle habits and how we take care of ourselves. We either turn on those genes or turn them off. We are either expressing those genes or we're leaving them dormant. But that's up to us and how we take care of our body. The 5-step strategy. Okay, so you've gotten all this background stuff and you're going to continue to get a little bit more background. But what is the Gut 5 and Thrive? So what is the strategy? Yeah, you told me all this, but no, what is this about? Okay, so the 5-step strategy. Step 1, we are going through the diet. We are going to slash the inflammation. So in step 1 of the program, we focus on the foods. We focus on foods that are known to heal your body. We're going to be adding in a ton of nutrient-dense foods while we remove certain foods that are known to increase internal inflammation. So that's going to be the first step, the diet, beginning to slash inflammation. The program will come, so you're going to be divided into a certain root cause, and there's different plans. There's plan S, plan F, and we'll go through all this. And based on the assessment test, which again we'll go over, you're going to be categorized into a certain root cause. And then you're going to have a certain meal plan designed to start slashing inflammation by taking out certain foods that are known to increase that particular issue. So for instance, if you came up Plan S, SIBO, you would not be eating anything with onions or garlic because that's known to be highly irritable to anybody with SIBO. So we would, step one, the diet would be the focus, slashing inflammation, because we want to bring down the inflammation to allow the body to then be ready to go into step two, the pathogen purge. Pathogen purge is the biggest chunk of the program. It's 4 weeks long on average, but again, this program is going to be customized to each and every one of you on a unique level. Some people might be in it for 4 weeks, other people might be in it for 6 to 8 weeks. It's just going to depend on you, your state of health, and how your body responds to the protocol. But the first, we slash inflammation to allow the body to go into the pathogen purge more effectively. Then once we go through the pathogen purge, and we're going to discuss all this in detail, we go through the reseeding and healing of the gut. So we're reseeding and we're healing leaky gut. Then we're going to do the HCl evaluation and terraforming. And this is the part of the program that completes the process of healing that many other programs do not. Because when you go through the HCl challenge, you are making sure that the issue at hand is resolved and that you have a natural state of your hydrochloric acid in your stomach. You're producing enough to break down foods, and you just have enough going through your body that's going to prevent reinfection. And that step is going to be critical to knowing that you completed the process. And terraforming is going to be ongoing even when you end the program. And we'll go over all this, like I said. And then step 5 is the 80-20 maintenance. That's basically how you want to live the rest of your life. And you'll get some example, you'll just get kind of a little blueprint map. So that is the 5-step strategy. Okay, a starting point for you. Focus on microbiome in its entirety, but identify your genetic propensity for pathogenic organisms. Customize and lean our work together heavy on what is determined to be the greatest pathogenic burden, the root or the gateway pathogen that allowed other pathogens to enter. So again, your root cause, your issue, largest issue at hand may not be the same as this person or that person. And again, that's not to say that if you came up with SIBO, that you again didn't have any candida. It just means that you have a huge, your biggest issue is you have way more overgrowth of small intestinal overgrowth going on in your intestine. What we can measure, we can improve. So you have to remember that. What we can measure, we can improve. Assessment customizes the approach because it figures out who is in your microbiome community so you know how to best approach your healing. Run with the real patient side by side with before and after lab work for 24 months. So this assessment that we will be going through with you, or that I will be going through with you, was created over many, many years of real work with real patients. It's about 180 questions long, and it has proven to be on key. In fact, my current client, we did the assessment, and she came up SIBO. And sure enough, she actually you don't have to get lab work for this particular program because of this assessment being so darn accurate. However, she went ahead and she had lab work done, and she came up with like a raging case of SIBO. So again, it's true to what the originators of this program, the whole journey, Chris Orecchio, and the doctor that worked alongside of her, Dr. Jack Trips, that they came to this conclusion that the assessment has been so accurate over and over and over. A complement or an alternative to lab testing that may be more affordable. So you don't have to spend all that money going and getting this lab and that lab and this lab and that lab. Even food sensitivities, you really don't need to, because most of what's included in this program is going to take care of the issue. Now, if you're having, like, again, I keep talking about my recent client, she's had extreme asthmatic attacks. And so some of the food that's included in her meal plan was not working for her. So again, this program is customized. We had to take out certain foods that were creating asthmatic attacks until she allows her body to heal. And that's what working with me one-on-one will allow. There's a general protocol, but we'll customize it because you may not meet every general part of the protocol. Okay, step 1, the diet, slashing inflammation. What does this entail? We're going to identify and lower your inflammation set point. We're going to identify the organs and cells that need additional support, such as your pancreas, your gallbladder, your liver, and your parietal cells. Your parietal cells are what naturally produce digestive enzymes in your body. We're going to use customized enzymes to digest better, break down biofilms, and clean up old molecules of inflammation as well as liver support. So as you see here, you're going to get a lot of liver, adrenal, and thyroid support with digestive enzymes. So basically in step 1, we're working on bringing that inflammation set point down. Your body is going to give your digestive system and parietal cells a little rest and a little rejuvenation by adding in very high quality digestive enzymes and a few other proteolytic enzymes are one, digestive enzymes, and a couple other little supplements that are part of the program to nourish your body and give it what it needs before we go into the work, before we start doing the heavy work. Yeah, so that's going to be slashing inflammation. So with the diet, oops, where did I go? We're going to be working on maximizing nutrient absorption, minimal work by the digestive system, and low inflammation, as I just touched on. We really want, so many people with leaky gut, you're not even getting the nutrients that the body is to be getting from foods that you're eating. So you could be eating the healthiest food on the planet, but if you experience leaky gut, your body's not even getting it. And so that's why multiple nutrient deficiencies is common. Food sensitivities are a sign of inflammation, and they can be decreased and eliminated. I am proof of that. Back in 2017, I had an array of food sensitivities. It's like my body couldn't eat anything, and a lot of it was healthy stuff. And then in 2021, I had my food sensitivity test done again, and I had 1 food sensitivity. And it was really weird. It was just like winter squash, which I don't even eat that much. But that just goes to show that your body can heal. In 2017, I was in a raging case of adrenal dysfunction. But again, that was due to gut health and everything. I was dealing with gut, thyroid, adrenal issues, and healthy foods. I bloated, I felt horrible, but I was trying to figure this out all on my own until I went to a functional medicine doctor at some point. But as far as diet was concerned, I was doing this all on my own. This is where I want to come in and help you. It shouldn't take you 3 or 4 years to figure it out like it did me. So step 1, so again, they are a helpful symptom of early autoimmunity. So if you have nutrient deficiencies and food sensitivities, that can be a sign of early symptoms of early autoimmunity. Another reason why you want to get on top of that. Together, we'll customize just for you. Your diet will change based upon your good, bad, and neutral microorganisms we find from your assessment. Then we'll know, do fermented foods and fiber help or hurt? So for instance, with SIBO, fermented food and fiber hurts. So when you see a general gut protocol, you're going to see fermented foods, eat fermented foods. Not always the case when you're trying to heal. You're going to see fiber. Fiber is good for gut health. Get it in that digestive tract. Again, not always the case depending on what your root cause is. Can you handle grains now or ever? You may be able to handle grains at some point. You may never be able to handle grains. What about legumes, nuts, and seeds? How much raw food versus cooked food can your body handle? Which foods can be used as medicine that will soothe, calm, heal, and build your immunity? So you'll see here, there are so many healthy protocols that if you're dealing with H. pylori, SIBO, candida, or something, some of those are not going to be suggested for you while you're healing. And there's so many little things. And again, it was amazing to me as I went through this program myself, amazing about learning so much about how food truly is medicine, that's what this program is about. Yes, you're going to be having supplements designed to go in and do certain work. But at the end of the day, you're learning what foods truly heal your body. And it's so interesting when you go through it. Specific spices that cool, heal, and train the body to produce its own enzymes. You're going to be discovering which herbs to cook with, specific to your gut microbiome goals. Foods that support the liver, adrenals, and thyroid. So again, not all one person's medicine may be another person's poison, and I'm going through that with my client. Certain things she cannot have because she's dealing with sulfur issues. So a lot of spices that are received at the market, she can't have any of those. So some of the spices that are included in the program, she cannot take because of her sulfite sensitivity. Now, hopefully down the road, that's not going to be an issue, but currently some of the recommended protocols for her did not work. We had to take them out. So again, we're going to be customizing for you based on your body's reactions. Here's a good little food, like to give you an idea. You're going to be eating all this kind of stuff. So it's not just some bland diet. Oops. It's not like a bland diet. There are so many, like lots of veggies, bone broth you see here, asparagus, cruciferous vegetables, root vegetables. There's going to be a lot of recipes that are included that are designed to slash inflammation. A lot of really good stuff that I've continued to take on a regular basis. Just because I started enjoying it, my body felt better. So step one, just a few weeks in, what you are going to do, you're going to already be lowering your inflammation set point immediately with food, supplements, and specific self-care methods. You are going to start identifying the organs and cells that are tired and give them a rest. The pancreas, the gallbladder, the liver, and the parietal cells. You're going to use enzymes to digest better, break down biofilms, and clean up old molecules of inflammation. That part to me was the most interesting. There are certain enzymes, proteolytic enzymes, that are designed specifically to go into your intestinal tract in the little crevices within inside of the intestinal tract and pull out old molecules of gluten, corn, soy, dairy that are just keeping your body at inflamed and not allowing you to heal. And to me, that was really, really interesting. So what are you going to get? So that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be lowering inflammation, basically. You're going to identify the organs and cells that are tired and give them a rest. And you're going to use enzymes to digest better, break down biofilms, and clean up old molecules of inflammation. What are you going to get? You're going to get a liver that is boosted so it's better prepared to handle purging pathogens. So we're going to give a little bit of liver support. You're going to get energy and vitality are boosted. Adrenal and thyroid glands get what they need for the journey ahead. Sleep and digestive improvement. And you're going to experience less pain and discomfort. So again, what are you going to get right away within the first week or first few weeks? Your liver is going to be boosted. You're going to have more energy and more vitality. You're going to sleep better. You're going to have better digestion, and you might experience less pain and discomfort. Joint pain is another common issue of inflammation. So this was my case study number one. She was a Plan S and she was a SIBO as well. And this was her testimonial. And you'll see her picture later down the road. Amy's coaching helped me in a way no testimonial can really ever cover. It's rare that you find a person who is so committed to and truly cares about the health and wellness of others. Amy's kindness, professionalism, and accountability helped me to feel comfortable and not stressed about timelines because we customized it, but focus on how to achieve goals at my own pace and what works for me. Amy helped me navigate through a program called Gut Thrive. This was an intense program, and without Amy's guidance, I would not have succeeded. The most helpful part of working with her as my coach was being held accountable in a very safe, non-judgmental, and caring way. It was not the regimented, you must do this to succeed or you will fail mantra I was used to hearing, but both externally and internally. This allowed me to reframe those internal thoughts into a much kinder voice of self-care rather than shame and guilt. And then she went on to just say how it's affected her life. And that was my first case study that I took through the program. So that's, so we talked about step one. Now we're going through step two, purging pathogens. This is the big chunk of the program. The Western way is antibiotics, antifungals, antivirals, and immunosuppressants. The usual natural way, heavy-hitting, high-dose botanicals. Neither are great because they band-aid the problem and allow the war to rage on and can lead to terrible die-off symptoms. So when you think of antibiotics, they are needed in certain moments in time, right? There's no question. But what they do is they don't only go in and kill the bad stuff, they kill our good stuff. And as I keep talking about my clients, my recent client, they came to the conclusion that her SIBO is raging. It is so bad. It's so overproliferated. And that was due to so many antibiotics from strep throat and whatnot in the recent years. Communication is key. So no matter what bugs you have, we'll figure out how they talk to each other, proliferate, and build forts, which are biofilms, to keep themselves rooted inside your body. So the gut bacteria, they have a communication. I can't think of the word. But they communicate with each other because anything that forms that they see as a threat to breaking their bond, they get stronger and stronger. And you want to think of it, it's like they have this dome, and the roof of their dome is metal, and it's keeping everything good that can destroy them out. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be adding in botanicals that are known, botanicals and supplements that are known that can break through the heavy metal roofs that are keeping them protected so they can no longer stay gripped together. And then we can go and we can weed them out. So instead of assaulting them, we simply interrupt and prevent their communication. Totally different strategy. Now they can no longer share the genetic code or replicate. The environment is inhospitable, so they leave on their own. Less die-off, less metabolic waste, less damage to the gut lining, less leaky gut, less damage to the immune system. So this approach is going to be very gentle, but very effective so that you experience less die-off symptoms, less metabolic waste, less damage to the gut lining, less leaky gut, and less damage to the immune system. More harmony, faster healing. Okay, so this was my case study. This was Jerry. This was before the program and after the program. So again, I don't ever focus on weight loss. It's not my thing. It's not my main focus. There are situations, of course, where people need to be losing weight because they're carrying around too much weight for their bone structure. And depending on the kind of weight that you're carrying around, it could be too much fat surrounding major organs and stuff like that. So of course, weight is it's important, right, on some level, but it's not my focus, nor was it my focus in this. This is just an example of showing like when your body is inflamed and housing any sort of pathogen, virus and whatnot, you're going to have a metabolic issue. Your metabolism is going to be thrown off. This particular case study, her thyroid was removed months prior to this. And so many things like her metabolism was off and just a lot of things. But anyway, long story short, you can see here that not only is it going to heal you physically, but emotionally and mentally. And I think that was the coolest thing about this program, and that's the gut-brain barrier. Okay, so we're going to be utilizing digestive enzymes. We're going to be utilizing a really good multivitamin. and other things, but we're also going to be using the right herbs in the right amounts. Things such as golden seal, depending on your case, right? Depending on your category. Golden seal, echinacea, black wild carrot, black radish, oregano oil, schizandra, clove, wintergreen, spearmint oil, dandelion root, milk thistle, aloe, lion's mane, which I loved, palo d'arco, charcoal, clay, diatomaceous earth, food-based, biofilm destroyers. Okay, so purging pathogens. What are you going to do? Instead of assaulting them, we simply interrupt and prevent their communication. A totally different strategy. We're not going to go in and kill them hard. We're just going to interrupt their bonds. So think of them like this, and we're going to be making it spread apart so they can't, find this again. They can no longer share their genetic code or replicate. The environment is inhospitable, so they leave on their own. What are you going to get from the pathogen purge? More harmony, faster healing, less die-off feeling sick, and less metabolic waste, less damage to the gut lining, less leaky gut, energy, weight loss, vitality, positive moods, better sleep, glowing skin. I actually had somebody compliment my skin, and she was interested in the program because of that. She said something must be working because your skin looks so good, and I never really thought about that, but when we give the body what it needs, the body will thrive. Okay, so reseeding. So we went through slashing inflammation, then we went through the big chunk of the program, pathogen purge. Now reseeding. What is reseeding? The strategy now shifts. Re-educating your immune system. You have anywhere from 150 to 500 strains of helpful bacteria native to your unique genetic makeup. So we have helpful bacteria that we must have. Build on existing good bacteria. So this is what we're going to be doing in reseeding. Build on existing good bacteria, add new ones, and nourish, feed, both convert the neutrals to good bacteria. So the commensal bacteria, we're going to convert those to good bacteria with positive influence of step 1 and step 2, all at your own pace based on how your body responds. Add in 11 to 13 different probiotics in different amounts. Doses and types are based on your assessment. So you're going to be adding in 11 to 13 different probiotics. They work at certain times in the program. So again, you'll see in gut programs, gut healing protocols, good probiotic. Not always the case. So for me, I had H. pylori. So I think I was on a probiotic right from the beginning. But SIBO, for instance, you don't introduce a probiotic until step 3, right here. So again, that's what's interesting. You can't just follow a general gut healing protocol because we all have different root causes. And really, to really resolve the issues at hand, we have to go in and we have to kill off the root cause completely. So as a type of a starter log, so there's lactobacillus, bacillus, and bifidobacterium. Those are the bacteria. All right, so how do you want to think of all this? Open warfare in the microbiome. So you want to think of it as the lactobacillus. There's 5 to 6 strains. Transient bacteria, they're transient, like the marines, and are responsible for the first assault. So that I keep talking about my current case study. She found out she had zero lactobacillus. So no wonder the food sensitivities and all the issues she's experiencing. She doesn't have the front linemen. She doesn't have the ones that are the first assault. So they're like the Marines, and they're responsible for the first assault, the lactobacillus. Then you have your bifidobacterium, which are 2 to 4 strains, like an army corps of engineers who are responsible for building the infrastructure. The bifidobac's job is to colonize and stay. So they're to colonize and stay. The lactobacillus are transient. They're to do the job, move on. The bifidobacterium are responsible, they're like the engineers. So they're responsible for building the infrastructure, like putting the mortar in the clay between the bricks. And their job is to colonize and to stay. The bacillus, like Navy SEALs or Army Rangers, are built to withstand volatile conditions and harsh environments. Bacillus are the special forces arm of the good bacteria peacekeeping unit. So they're built to withstand the volatile conditions and harsh environments. So that's how you want to look at your microbiome. Okay, so healing the leaky gut. First, we're focusing on reseeding. Then part 2, excuse me, we're focusing on healing the leaky gut, the actual process that we really want to take care of. So you'll see here, healthy intestinal function, food, bacteria, toxins. So you have just a little bit of bacteria, right? They're all up here. Your mucosal inside the intestines. Here's your mucosal lining. And then you'll have your intestinal lining. The intestinal barrier filters nutrients to the body and prevents food, toxins, and bacteria from entering the body. So when it's healthy, you prevent food, toxins, and bacteria from entering the body. Compromised intestinal function, you'll see your mucosal barrier. You see right here, you'll see these little like openings, right? Now we let the food, bacteria, and toxins to enter into the intestinal lining. Then they start to enter the bloodstream down there at the bottom. That's when things happen, and that's when things get negative symptoms. Breakdown of the intestinal lining may allow food, toxins, and bacteria to enter the bloodstream, resulting in widespread inflammation, including the brain. So there's the gut-brain connection, and that's why if you're experiencing anxiety, ADHD, ADD, depression, I would highly recommend healing your gut. I would highly recommend going through an extensive gut healing protocol. Okay, so we talked about step 1, slashing inflammation. Step 2, pathogen purge. Step 3 is reseeding, putting more of the good guys back into your body, and then also healing leaky gut. So in step 3, what are you going to do? Let's talk about it again. You're going to re-educate your immune system by building on existing good bacteria, adding in 3 different probiotics in different amounts of a type of starter log, and then nourish and feed all of them. So you're going to be re-educating that immune system now. You're going to be adding to your good stuff. Convert neutral bacteria, the commensal bacteria, to good bacteria, which symbiotic, with positive influence of step 1 and step 2. So you're going to be converting those neutral guys to the good stuff. What are you going to get as a result? Minimize future supplemental needs. So again, the program does require supplements. You cannot do this program without the supplements. However, the end result is to get yourself to the place where you don't need supplements. You might have like those 3 or 4 that everybody wants a good solid multivitamin, omega-3 fatty acid, fish oil kind of thing, and maybe, some D3, but you're not going to be like relying on digestive enzymes and this and that just to be able to eat. So that's really what you're going to get out of it. Minimize future supplemental needs. Learn the strategy that improves your current health and secures your future health. So learn the strategy that will improve your current health and secures your future health. Teaches your gut how to focus on what's important so that it can heal itself in a fraction of the time. My client has already said, she goes, I'm becoming so in tune with my body that now I feel like I'm going to have a hand on it, that if I start to notice these little subtle symptoms, I'm going to know what to do before it gets worse. And that is like, yes, that's the whole point of going through these programs, is to empower you to take your health back into your own hands. And when you go through, programs like that, you have these tools. So like if you were to decide to go through the Gut Thrive 5, you're going to have so many handouts and information that I would encourage you to put it all in one folder that you can use that stuff for the rest of your life, right? You're going to always know a protocol that's going to get you out of trouble without needing to hire me or somebody else to help you. You're going to have it all taken care of and at your hands and resources for the rest of your life. Okay, so we went through step 1, step 2, step 3. Now we're going into step 4, hydrochloric acid optimization. And this is what makes this program so different from other programs. You're going to restore your parietal cells to make HCl in the right amount so that your body will naturally make hydrochloric acid in the right amount. HCl is the body's first defense for blocking many things that don't belong, like H. pylori. So again, I always knew I had trouble digesting proteins and fats. I did not know at the time it was due to H. pylori. What I was doing is I was taking betaine hydrochloric acid supplements, which are known to help digest animal protein, fat. And I was taking fat digestive enzymes like no other. I was like addicted to those things because my body would immediately bloat, feel weighed down, but I did not produce enough hydrochloric acid. And in the end, I think this was causing my dysfunctional LDL, to be quite honest. The body learns to produce enough stomach acid in the right amounts so that it can protect you for a lifetime. The hydrochloric acid is your protective barrier in a lot of ways. Good fences make good neighbors. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Okay, so you're going to be optimizing your hydrochloric acid in the program. Now you're going to be focusing on terraforming, a process that transforms the terrain so it can support consistent and habitable. Hello, I was like reading that going like, that is not habitable life. Here's where prebiotics and fermented foods will re-enter. So again, you read a basic gut protocol that says fermented foods are good for your health. Not always the case when you're trying to heal. We don't even introduce those until step 4, you guys. Step 4. We planted the seeds and now we feed and water them so they can create sustainable, good gut that continues to improve month over month without relying on supplements. So not until you get those bad guys out, right? You want to get the bad guys out and you start reseeding and forming the good stuff and getting the good stuff to proliferate. That's where prebiotics, fermented foods are going to come in to feed the good gut bacteria. Your body will attract what it needs. Okay, so step 4, the HCl challenge and terraforming. What are you going to do? Restore your parietal cells, and those are the cells that make your digestive enzymes. To make HCl in the right amount for your body, HCl is the body's first defense, remember, for blocking many things that don't belong. What are you going to get? The body learns to produce enough stomach acid in the right amounts so that it can protect you for a lifetime. The ability to terraform, a process that transforms the terrain so it can support consistent and habitable life. And the way that you want to think of the terrain is like, and I can't remember if I have the fish tank. So when you start the program out, you have a fish tank with dirty, muggy water, right? And with maybe 2 fish just trying to survive, right? Good bacteria trying to survive, but it's dirty, it's mucky, it's just gross. Then you're going to see clear water by the end of the program. Water that is going to be able to keep the fish, the good gut bacteria alive and well, and you alive and well. Here's a testimonial from my case too. She was a plan H. pylori. One really cool thing, I had very sensitive teeth for months and months. I suddenly realized it has all faded since since going through the program, basically. I'm so happy about that. And the interesting thing about H. pylori is that you have low stomach acid. And oftentimes with H. pylori, your pH in your system, inside your internal pH, might be too acidic. And hers was very acidic, and it was staying acidic longer than it probably should have. And if your internal environment is too acidic, for instance, you start pulling calcium and magnesium from your teeth and your bones to alkalize your internal environment, because we have to have a natural pH of anything from 7.25, I believe, to 7.45. It has to be there. That's where it wants to be. And if it's lower than that, it will find a way to get that internal pH to that homeostasis set point at the cost of perhaps your teeth. And she also had osteoporosis, signs of osteoporosis. So that was really interesting to me, in that I was learning that through the program as well. A brand new operating system will be yours by the end of the program. And this, having seen SARS, COVID, enters our cells by latching onto protein receptors called ACE2. The greatest number of ACE2 receptors are in the cells that line the gut. So the healthier that your gut was, the safer you may be from COVID. There's not a person alive that cannot benefit tremendously from rejuvenating their microbiome. Everybody, right? So here's this image that I was just talking about. Step 5. So we've talked about step 1, slashing inflammation. Step 2, purging the pathogens, bacteria, purging them all from the body. Step 3, reseeding and resealing the leaky gut. Step 4, optimizing your hydrochloric acid and beginning the terraforming process. Step 5, living your 80-20 balance. So what are you going to do? You're going to add in foods that were once restricted. So now there are certain foods that we had to take out depending on your plan. And some foods that people are like, I don't know if I can do this. And it was just like, you can do it. It's only for a short time. Adapt and survive with a full and varied diet. So you're going to adapt and survive with a full and varied diet. You're going to be able to digest all of that very easily. Understand what you do 80% of the time makes up your health. So you want to live fairly clean and fairly similar to this program 80% of the time. With 20%, we have life. We've got to keep living. So 20% of the time, we're going to enjoy certain things. It's all about balance. What are you going to get? You're going to learn not to be afraid of food anymore. So as I said, first sign of leaky gut is you just say, I can't even eat because everything just feels horrible. It leaves me tired, exhausted, cramping, bloated, constipated. Well, you're going to learn not to be afraid of food anymore. You're going to eat out with greater ease and knowledge. You're going to have specific ideas on foods and snacks to make on an ongoing basis. And you're going to have these resources, right? Like I just said earlier today. You're going to have the program at your hands to go back to in times of need, because honestly, going through this particular program one time, at least once a year, is something that you're going to want to do on an ongoing basis just for optimal well-being. So again, this has been tested and proven with over 7,000 people from around the world. 95% reported digestive improvement. 94% would recommend this work to others. Over 75% reported significant improvements in skin conditions, acne, eczema, psoriasis, lowered thyroid antibody levels, and many reversed, improved adrenal gland function, improved metabolism, weight loss, and reduced body fat by 3 to 10%. So that's 60 to 50 pounds, depending on your case of health in the moment. Dramatic improvement with SIBO, constipation, bloating, brain fog by addressing the brain-gut connection with customized neuroactivation techniques and supplements. So if you were to take on this program, I mean, there's so many, there's just so many handouts and self-care practices and detoxification methods that you will be getting introduced to over the course of 3 to 4 months. This program will take at the earliest 12 weeks, at the earliest. But you're going to be getting so much information in that time frame that you could ultimately, I mean, you're going to be almost like an expert on gut health as well, right? It's such an extensive program. Okay, so let's ask, but does this work right for you? Are you willing to stop eating things that don't agree with your body? Does this process get you really excited about what is possible for your health? Have you gone to doctors and they tell you it's all in your head? Does your doctor think you need to just manage your symptoms or dis-ease without trying to heal it? So in other words, are they popping you pills, right? Masking the symptoms. So reducing the symptoms, but masking the issue, I mean. Do you understand that you may experience some die-off symptoms as we work together? Do you recognize that I don't heal you? I don't heal you, but that you are the only one who has the power to heal you. So it's not me who's going to be healing you, but you are going to be healing you by learning to tune into your body, understanding the signs and the symptoms, understanding what foods work for you and against you, because you're going to have to recognize all this stuff. And we're going to work together to teach you how to do just that. But you're going to be the ones experiencing it, right? And just as I was talking about my current client, she's recognizing which foods are like, whoa, that just caused me an asthma attack. Even though it's part of the program, she is learning how to heal herself. Are you willing to have patience and celebrate the small successes along the way? It's going to take a lot of patience, and it's going to take a lot of little stepping stones. Will you dedicate the time to your healing, to meal prep, self-care, and taking supplements? That's where I really come in. I have this protocol. You know, I'm going to hand you, these things have proven to be effective, okay? Now I'm going to come in and take some of this stuff that can seem overwhelming to you, and we're going to work together and we're going to make it feasible and possible. My very first case study was like, whoa, this is so much information. And we have, in all mine, to be honest, we've extended each step further along because we had to make it work for them. And that's what I would do with you. Are you ready to be part of the healing process that is forward thinking and will require you to put in as much as you get out? Okay, so this is not for everybody. This is not for somebody who's just like, oh man, I just want to lose some weight, you know, but they truly are not in the mindset of, I want to heal. They're not in the mindset of, I'm so tired of feeling this way. I want to feel healthy. I want to have the energy. I want to be able to walk up steps. I don't want to be on medication for type 2 diabetes. I don't want to, I mean, so many illnesses, like I said, the list goes on and on. You have to be at that place or else you're really not going to look into this. If you're so tired of being like controlled by your anxiety, you're so controlled by like, you can't even go out to eat because you're going to end up in the bathroom 5 or 6 times. You can't even go on long trips because you're having to stop at some gas station along the way every hour because you can't even hold food in your system, right? You can't even get nutrients. You're so nutrient deprived that you have no energy or mental focus. So you can't even go after your goals in life because you don't even have the energy, the focus, or the nutritional support to get you there. When you're at those places, this program is right for you. But if you're just like, oh man, I can't give this up. Nah, I just want to lose weight. I'm going to be honest with you right now. It's not the right program for you. It's when you really are ready to truly heal body, mind, and soul, to be honest. Okay, so if you are ready to work with me one-on-one for the last 45 minutes or so, I've been going over the idea that your gut can be repaired. I shared 2 case examples of mine, people who just like you were able to use that to their advantage to overcome this unique challenge. Each one was very different. Every client I've had has been unique, and it has forced me to dive in and to research much further to fully understand the scope of just what gut health really is. Now, I want to do the same for you. I'd like to invite you to work with me one-on-one together. Now, the way that I go about this is I offer you a free 20-minute consultation. And during that 20-minute consultation, we're going to just simply uncover your number one health concern. What is it that you're experiencing right now that's holding you back from you feel like enjoying your life, or on a day-to-day basis, what are you experiencing? Then I'm going we're going to work together to create 2 to 3 action steps that will provide your body with more energy and perhaps improve digestion just within that first week. 2 little suggestions, 2 or 3 suggestions to get you kind of started with, okay, what can I do now, right? What can I add in that's very small? Then we're going to determine if GT5 is something we both feel is the right step to take in your own personal journey, because as I just mentioned, you have to be ready for it. And then we would determine. So if you decide to do a free 20-minute consult, again, we will just sit down, talk about your number one health concern, and I'll give you 2 to 3 suggestions that can make you feel healthier, and perhaps improve digestion, metabolism, just within a week. You know, what's something that you can add that would benefit your health long term, that what could be something to add in. And then we'll determine if Gut Thrive is right for you. Here are some success stories. This is Amanda, and she wrote, "This program has a remarkable impact on my thyroid health. The results amazed my doctor. When I saw my lab test results, I knew that I could fully reverse my thyroid disease. For the first time in my life, I am experiencing true healing." This was Linda. "Bloating, abdominal pain, gas, brain fog are now very minimal, and my energy level is up. I have no joint or muscle pain since completing the program, which is amazing for a 61-year-old. My health journey made a significant leap forward due to your program, and I am very grateful." So again, different cases, different results. And I wish I had this picture on here, but I don't. A man with alopecia, and he went through the program, and there are actual visual results of his hair growing back. No, he didn't need a hair transplant. It was his body was attacking itself, and he needed to heal his gut. And that was not my client. That was like a Gut Thrive in 5 original. Okay, so cost and special effort, like I said, I'm offering a free 20-minute consultation to all who are interested in learning more. Now, if we went through the 20-minute consult and you're like, okay, I want to go on, I want to move forward. I still always like to make sure that my clients are really ready to commit to 3 to 4 months. So in doing so, I offer what I call the initial consult. The initial consult is prep week of the program. So this full program goes through prep week, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. I offer prep week in the initial consult. My initial consults typically run $100 for a 90-minute session. However, if you watch this webinar and you watched it all the way through and you contact me, because obviously you wouldn't know had you not gone through the webinar, and you contact me and you decide to go on with the initial consult, I would provide you with the initial consult at a discounted rate of $75. So there would be a discounted rate for watching this webinar. And then we would decide if the program's right for you. So if you want to book your free 20-minute consult, you can go to right here, would take you to my website, my contact page right here. So you would just click on that, contact me. It should take you there. But if not, amyblackburn.net. So it's really easy to remember that. And then just go where it says contact me. Once you sign up, you'll be taken to the intake paperwork forms given once you sign up for your initial consult, which would give me everything. I'd send out the intake forms and program agreement and all that mess. So don't forget, if you decide to proceed forward with the 90-minute initial consultation, add our 20-minute consult, free 20-minute consult, you will receive the discount rate. Oops, I gotta fix that. That is supposed to say $75. So only $75. And so to accept my invitation and book an appointment right now, you would go to please contact me. I thank you, and it would be incredible to work with you in your journey to your health. So again, I am Amy, certified Gut Thrive wellness practitioner, as well as a IIN certified hormonal health specialist. And I'm here to help you. I know this program can benefit everybody, but you really have to be in the place where you're ready to go through it. And there is a commitment on everyone's end. And so you need to be ready for that part. But thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Please drop in the comment section that you watched the replay. I would really appreciate that so that I know. And share this. Please share this link, because this information needs to get out to so many more people. So share it with friends and family. Thumbs up it. Subscribe to my page. I'm going to be doing more of this kind of stuff. But let me know that you watched it. Anyway, thanks guys, and have a wonderful day.